Hi, everybody. How are you this evening? Hope you guys can hear me okay. And so I see we already have people in the chat room. That is like awesome. Happy Friday, everybody. And stuff. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Jeanette from Boricua Sewing and Crafts. I see Sassy and Miriam in the room. I see Iris, Elaine, Jeannie. Hey, Robin, how you doing? Hey, Denise, how are you? I'm sure that more people are going to be calling in and stuff. So I see you got like 12 people already watching and stuff, and the numbers are starting to go up. Hey, hey, Miss Treasure, how you doing? And so, okay, guys, today's happy hour, embroidery happy hour topic: 10 things to rock your embroidery business. But before we start that, though, I wanted to show you because for those of you that have been following the channel for quite some time, I did a video on creating your own color cards, right? So I decided to take things a little bit further. So what I did was I took this is the boards that I use to wrap my fabric, and all I did was I scored it and I labeled it, and then I just put brother thread on here. Okay. And what I started doing is, let me open it up and show you. I started creating my own color chart with the actual threads on it. I really, really like this a lot better than doing a picture of the color because, like I had explained in the video before, when you do pictures, sometimes the pictures don't really do justice to the actual thread. So I have been I decided to take my time and wind up a whole tab of my color and do my own little scorecard. I mean, not scorecard, but color thread card. And so, hey, Mello. That way, I can have this at home, and then I also want to do another set with the ring because I feel like the ring will probably be easier to carry with me. So that way I can have like two sets, one that I can travel with, and then one that I can have in the house for when customers come over. So just wanted to give you guys, just a little idea of something you can do. I mean, you don't have to fold it up if you don't want to. You can just have a regular card, and then you can just put all the colors on here and then just have it handy. It's just a neat idea, something to make things a little easier and stuff. And just wanted to give a shout out to Miss Banks. She's the one that actually gave me the idea for this. She said that she actually like takes like a little cardboard or something, and then she would just wind the thread, and that would be it. So when she was telling me about that, that's when I started searching around on Amazon, and that's where I found these flosses. They call it flosses for embroidery thread, and I think this is for the real thick embroidery thread. This is not for like the real thin ones, but we use the thin ones with the machine embroidery, but I figured it does the same thing. So I really do kind of like this idea. So I just wanted to share that, and I really wanted to give a shout out to Miss Banks, to Taisha Banks, because this was her idea. This was not mine. So I don't like taking credit for other people's ideas. And let me tell you, that's one smart lady. Because when she told me that, I was like, oh, that's really like a neat idea. I was like, I got to spread the word, because I'm sure that a lot of us that, kind of wish that the bro thread, I think I'm saying it right, the bro thread, had the actual color charts like this. I kind of wish they did, but I do kind of understand why they don't do it. I'm sure it's very expensive to produce, and so I'm kind of like, okay, that's fine. All you have to do is just create yours once, and then once you have your chart done, it's not like you have to recreate it all the time unless they come with a new color. Then how much time is it? It's just to do one. So doing it the first time is kind of like a hassle because I use that little winder that I got, and let me tell you, after a while your arm kind of bothers you, but that's okay. I mean, it's going to be done. And then also, I just want to let you guys know, I did a video recently on this because I am trying to do videos on things you can do with scraps. Okay, I don't know if you guys have the same problem that I have. You work on sewing projects and stuff, and sometimes you don't use all the fabric. Okay, so you end up with a lot of different scraps all over the house. So I did this one. To me, this is like a project fail, but I think the concept does work. It's just that I don't think that I used the right applique letter and I didn't use the right size. Because I even went and I tried to put this on today. And one of the things too is I found out I didn't buy the right size shirt either. Okay, because this kind of fit me a little bit tight. So I'm gonna have to, Mama's gonna have to hit the treadmill tonight. Okay, so anyway, you know, I I mean, I think this would work. I think this is something that's doable, but just me personally, I explained on the video some of the mistakes that I made. I think I did the lettering too small, and I think I should have chosen a better applique because the satin stitch on this applique is very very thin. And they do have other ones where it has more wider satin stitch. So I think if I had did that, it probably would have looked better. But I am going to do another video trying this again. Hopefully, it would be a success. The second time I try that, because I don't want to give up. I have so much scrap fabric that I really want to I want to find ways that I can use it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that for appliques, especially for these letter appliques, I was like thinking you could get like a big W, put it in the back of a jacket or something like that, and you could use scraps and stuff that would look nice because it's different. That's the thing. My whole thing is I always like going out for like unique looks. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about all that kind of stuff and everything because I want the topic today is supposed to be 10 things to rock your embroidery business. Okay. So I'm going to start just counting down all the 10. Okay. Now, this is the things that I feel that people really need to think about when they are starting an embroidery business or actually thinking about it. I've done lots of videos and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure that I think these are 10 that really stood out to me this week. And I'm like, I want to share that with you guys to see what you guys think. Okay. Um, Number one. Okay, what your business is going to be about. Okay. If you're into embroidery, you already know that's the skill set that you want to do. But the thing is, you can embroider almost like so many things. I was going to say you can embroider everything. Really can't. Okay. Because if you know embroidery, you know there are certain things, certain products that really it's not that good to put under a machine, right? I even had a customer this weekend came with some the lunch bags. Did a video on how I did two of hers. She did have a third lunch bag. Felt really bad because I just couldn't do it because the lunch bag it was kind of thick and I really was not sure how the machine was going to tackle that. And for me to try something like that with a customer's product, I didn't feel comfortable with it. So I had to turn down that order for that particular bag, but I was able to do her other bags. But what I'm talking about your niche is you have to find out what is it that you really, really, truly want to do. And also, is there a demand for that item that you want to embroider? For example, if you want to specialize in logos or you do want to specialize in hats, do you want to do jackets? Do you want to do home decor? Do you want to do baby items, children's clothes? Do you just want to focus on supporting other small businesses? Okay. So that way you just do polos. Do you want to work with the military? Do you want to, think about also your audience? All right. What kind of audience is it that, customer base that you want to chase after, right? Do you want to embroider more for the elderly? Do you want to do more for children? Do you want to focus on the teenagers, what's hot and what's not? Grandparents, menswear, whatever. So you really have to know exactly what it is that you want to embroider and for whom. Also, sometimes this is one thing that I find that sometimes embroiderers kind of like get stuck on. They're like, okay, well, I want to just create these products and sell them. That's all I want to do, right? Well, one of the things that I learned, and I have Liliana really to thank for this, is that she kind of like forced me to stop being afraid. Okay. You know how I tell everybody, don't be afraid of the machine. Okay. Well, I was afraid of certain orders. And one of the orders that really kind of freaked me out were custom orders. Okay. And she made a lot of sense. She was like, it's really nice when you get to embroider what you want to embroider it and to be able to sell it, right? Because you feel really good because it's something that you created and somebody wants it and you went ahead and you sold it. But you have to be flexible if you want to be successful in this business. Sometimes it's not all about what you designed and it's not all about what you want to just sell. You're going to have customers that are going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, I want to have a shirt with this type of logo, or I want to have a shirt with this type of design or a towel or something like that. So you're going to have to be flexible. All right. So that's really the number one thing that I wanted to emphasize tonight is the flexibility has to be there. You have to be willing to not just do the, and I'm not saying you can't do what you don't want to, that you want to do. Absolutely do that because that's what you love. But you have to understand that when you're in business, it's all about making the sale and it's also about making that money and it's also about building your reputation and your customer base. So when you are doing that, you need to be able to, be flexible with your customers. So one of the things that I was very fearful of was custom work. When people would come to me and they were like, "Oh, can you embroider this or that?" I would always become fearful because I'm not a digitizer. But thankfully, I was able to hook up with some people that digitize really, really well at reasonable prices. And when I talk to the customers and I say, this has to be digitized, this is how much it's going to cost, they're okay with that. And I also have now built a good relationship with the folks that I use as digitizers that when I ask for something to be digitized, it has to be modified and stuff. I can work with them really easily. So that is like really, really important. You have to make sure that you are flexible and that you know your base. Okay. The other thing also, when I'm talking about flexibility, the blanks. Okay. You can go out and you can always get your own blanks. There's a pro to that, and then there's a con for that. Okay. The con, let me start with the con. The con can be that you end up with, you buy all these blanks, right? Like for instance, like I do the kitchen towels and I do the dinner napkins. Okay. I buy a lot of them. So unfortunately, my poor son Carlito, who's in VCU right now, when he comes home tonight to visit me, he's gonna walk into his bedroom and he's gonna find that there's kitchen towels and dinner napkins everywhere. Okay. So the con to the blanks is that you end up having to have an inventory in your home or in your spot. Okay. That's a good thing, okay, because you can just grab it and you can embroider it and stuff like that. And if it messes up, then it's fine. You can just take it, toss it out, and you get another blank and you finish it off. But the con to me is that it can be you can end up turning your home into like a warehouse. Okay. So you're gonna have to, think about when you're buying the blanks, you're gonna have to think about how much blanks you need. And also are you gonna have the space for you to store all of them? So that's something that you have to think about when it comes to that. Now, one of the things that I was always fearful of is when customers will come to me with their own products. Because one of the first thing that'll happen is what goes through your mind is, oh my God, what if I screw it up, right? What if I really mess it up? I don't want to get the customer upset and stuff like that. There's ways you can do it. Okay. What I usually do if it's a customer wants something that they have, a product that they have, I always ask them, please bring it by. I want to take a look at it. I am very familiar with the type of embroidery, the skill sets of my embroidery, and the type of materials that I'm comfortable sewing with. Okay. And a lot of times, too, is, mistakes do happen, and I got that. But I always have the conversation with the customer, and I always ask them, is this something that can be replaced if I mess it up? Now, if I mess it up, I'll replace it out of my own pocket. I don't expect the customer to just eat the cost or anything like that. And I let them know that because that's my error, okay? Because I'm taking responsibility of your item and it's to embroider it. If I mess it up, I would just want to know where you bought it from so that I can go ahead and buy a replacement and then try to embroider it again for you. I'm okay with that, okay? At first, I was freaking out about that because I was like, oh, I don't want to piss people off and stuff like that. But you know what? You have to do it because it only makes your skill sets grow. Okay. And your confidence grows too. And, it's just like when I had the young lady that came to me, she had three lunch boxes. They were all gorgeous, but one of the lunch box was square and it was very, very thick. I've never worked with something of that thickness before. And I told her, I'm not sure how the machine is going to take that. I don't, and because it was vinyl, okay, it's not fabric. So that vinyl is very unforgiving because it's kind of like when you embroider on leather. Once you've made that hole in that fabric in the vinyl, that's a permanent hole. That's not something that heals over time or anything like that. It's not like fabric where fabric, the needle pops a hole in the fabric. It's okay. It'll regain its shape. It's not like that. So I had, whenever someone asks me to do something, I always look at the material and stuff like that. And then if I feel comfortable and I just let them know up front, and go, okay, you know, I haven't done this. Like I did a golf bag. Golf bag came out gorgeous. I should have took a picture of it. I didn't. But I was kind of hesitant about that, but I asked the lady, I said, could we replace that cover? And she was like, oh yeah, we can get a replacement of the cover. It's not a big deal. And I said, okay, because I'll pay for it if I mess it up. But I do want to give this a shot because I never did a golf bag before. And it wasn't the whole golf bag. What happened was the pocket, you can unzip it. So when she unzipped the pocket, she was just able to give me the pocket cover, and I was able to just put that under the machine. So it's not like the whole golf bag was hanging from the machine. It was just that one piece of the golf bag that easily unzipped from the bag, and she was able to just bring it to me. But it embroidered beautifully. The customer was happy. And at the same time, I kind of got a benefit out of it because then I was like, oh, so if I have in the future golf bags like this, I can do it. I know I can do it. I know how to do it. I've done it before. It's not a big deal. Right. So, you have to be flexible. So that's my whole thing. Make sure that you know what you're good at. Okay. And stick to it, but be flexible. And because the flexibility is what's going to get you to that next level. Okay. Now, the other thing is your platform. What platform are you going to run your embroidery business on? Are you going to be online only, or are you going to be local, or are you going to do both? Okay, they both have their pros and cons. Okay, the online is good, all right, because you're just posting your stuff out there. People, if they like it, they buy it. And you also can tell them that you do custom work. Okay. Because I do get custom work online as well. I do have my shop, and I even have something in there that says I do custom embroidery as well. So I have had several got tongue tied there. Several customers come to me and say, "Hey, I want to do a dinner napkin, but I want it in a particular style. I want it my own logo," and they'll send me what they want, and then I'll just get that digitized, and I'll send them a sample. So usually, that's what I usually do. I make them buy like a sample. Where they pay for the digitizing and everything, and I send them the sample. And if they like it, then we talk about, ordering it. Okay. Because I've done that for a lot of weddings and stuff like that. So, you have to know what platform you're going to use, and so that way you can know how you're going to reach out to your customers, right? So, the online is good, because you're just dealing with everything online, but you also have to be mindful of shipping and all that kind of stuff. And then sometimes the communication can be a little rough also. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. Okay. As for, my experience is I do both. I do local and I also do online. I actually sometimes, I have to be honest, I prefer the local sales for the reason that I get to see the customer face to face. I get to have a conversation with them, and I get to have a good understanding about what their expectations are. And then at the same time, we can even go back and bounce ideas. I just feel that it's just easier when you're talking to somebody. Okay. Sometimes when you're dealing with somebody online, um, there's a lot of email exchange that's going back and forward. Sometimes email exchange is good also because it's documentation to show, what the customer asked, just in case there's a problem later on. But it's just something that, I always I'm I like dealing with people. So when it comes to talking with a customer face to face, I actually prefer that. But I'm okay with the online as well. But you have to decide what kind of platform it is that you want to have your business in, okay? Whether you want to have it online, or you want to have it local, or you want to have it both, okay? You also have to think about the equipment that you have, okay? Now, I know a lot of people that have started their businesses with single needle machines and even with just a 4x4 hoop, okay? They're, but the thing is, you have to understand your equipment is going to help define the items that you produce, okay? Now, Janelle, what do you mean about that? Well, what I'm talking about is you got to look at the equipment and know what is the capability of the equipment that you have in front of you. Okay, is that equipment going to be able to provide all the products that you want to produce in your business, not just now, but then in the future? Now, sometimes, people, a lot of times people say when you're buying equipment, you got to think about the future and all that kind of stuff. My thing is, I feel that if you are really, really new to this, I feel that you need to start slow. And the reason why I say this is for a couple of reasons. Sometimes a lot of people get excited and they're like, oh my God, I want to do embroidery, right? And they go and they buy a machine. They start to mess around with the machine. They get frustrated or they lose interest, or sometimes they just don't want to do it anymore, right? So the thing is, I would prefer that somebody started a little bit small to find out exactly that this is something that they're passionate about. And if it is something that they're passionate about, then that's when I say, okay, now it's time for you to really start investing the big bucks in your business. If it's not something that you're passionate about, then and you're just using it as a hobby, then it's kind of like, you just do what's right for you, like, with me, it did start as a hobby. Okay, it started as a small thing, and then it just really grew because I actually really too enjoy doing this. I mean, I love embroidery. I truly, truly love it. Like, it's like my husband says, she could stand there in front of the machine and she could watch that needle go up and down all day. I do. I mean, I just love it. Okay, and I like making things. I like seeing all the products as they come out and all that kind of stuff. So, you just have to think about that. So the third thing that I say is think about the equipment that you have, because the equipment is going to help you decide, the type of products that you can pull out. And then as time goes on and you start to grow your skill set, then that is when the time is you're gonna have to sit down and think about what are you gonna be doing for the future. All right. Which kind of falls in line with number four, which number four is the skill set. You have to build it. Okay. And that's really like where I say that's when when your passion's in it. Okay. Because if you're not passionate about it, you're not going to be building your skill set. You're not going to be all excited about taking it to the next level, learning about the different types of embroidery there is, the patches, the appliques, the full embroideries, learning a little bit about digitizing, because you don't have to be a digitizer to be very good at embroidery, but you should have a basic understanding of what's involved in digitizing. Okay. Um, you have to be willing to invest in that. You have to be willing to take the classes, network with other embroiderers, be able to learn from each other and stuff like that. That is so, so important, because what's happening in the embroidery business is things do change. Okay. New products come in to make your life a lot easier. Like the latest thing that I've heard that is coming out is the cutting needle. There is a cutting needle for embroidery where it really helps. it cuts the fabric, in while you're embroidering, which I think is like really, really cool. Now, I don't know if those needles are available for the brother machine yet, but I hope they are. That is something that I saw some videos on. So as you can see, embroidery is it's a lot. Okay, you got to know about the stabilizers. You have to know about the different types of thread. You got to know about the weights. You got to know about the different needles. You got to stay in the know of new things that are coming because it's not just going to help you to provide better products for your customers, but it's also going to help you to embroider better. Okay, so the skill set has got to be built. Okay, because if you don't build your skill set, you're not going to be able to grow. Okay, the other thing is number five is support. Okay. You got to make sure that you have the right support as you're running your embroidery business. And from what I mean by support is you got to make sure that you have the type of relationships that you need in order for your business to succeed. For instance, like I have a very good relationship with the guy that runs my machines for me. He does all the maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Justice Justin, he knows that this is a business for me. Okay. So, and I also, and it's a business for him as well to do all the maintenance and stuff like that. But it's really, you got to make sure that you have that maintenance support on your background because the last thing you want to do is be in the middle of a big order and your machines go down. Remember, these are machines. Okay. Just like everything in life, it all runs into problems. Okay, things run into the end of life. Sometimes you get parts break down and all that kind of stuff, so you want to make sure that you have good contacts for people to help you maintain your machines. The other type of support that I'm talking about is you need to make sure that you have digitizers on hand. And I'm not talking about one digitizer, I'm talking about several. Okay. I do have several people that I work with. And one of the things that I like about it is that if I have something that has to be done in a rush, I can reach out to one. If that person says no, I can't do it within like 2 days, I'm gonna need a week, I have other people that I can reach out to. And at the same time, too, I can make sure that I am getting a good competitive price for the digitizing as well. You got to be careful out there, too. There are a lot of digitizers out there that overprice a lot of their digitizing. Sometimes they'll start off small. Next thing you know, they're like charging you a whole bunch of money. You're like, what the heck's going on? But always have a couple of digitizers. And usually what I'll do is if I have a product that needs to be digitized, I'll send it to two digitizers. I don't just send it to one. And then I'll just come on and say, hey, how much would you charge for this? And then I try to see, how compatible the prices are. And then I also ask them, when can you have it done? And then I'll just pick one. And then I'll just tell one person, okay, you go ahead and do that. And then I always like to make sure that I spread my work evenly. I don't just go to one digitizer. Okay. I have like three. And usually what I like to do is if I have one order, I'll give it to digitizer one, then I'll give the second to digitizer two, digitizer three, so that way I can maintain that relationship with them. Okay. So I kind of spread it around all of them. So that way, I can kind of like give everybody a piece of the work. Okay. But it's really good to have that kind of support. The other thing also regarding support is talk to other people that are in the business. Now, you're going to have some people that aren't very forthcoming with information and sharing, knowledge and teaching people. And that's okay. That's just how it is. Okay. Eh, this country was built on capitalism, so it's all about, everybody always reaches, is out for their own. And especially it's understandable if it's their bread and butter, right? You got to understand, it's like that's how they feed their family. That's how that is their money, right? But but the thing is, what I'm saying is, try that you will find people out there that are willing to help others. You really do. Okay. Me personally, this is really not my bread and butter. This is just something that I truly enjoy doing. It's also a way for me to help offset the cost for Cardito's college, okay? Because I did save all his money for tuition, but I still have to pay for his dorm. So it kind of helps to pay for that. But to me, it's just I don't mind sharing, okay? But some people do. Some people do mind sharing business stuff and everything. But you will find overall, honestly, you do find a lot of good people out there that they don't mind helping other people out, okay, and helping them learn different skill sets and all that kind of stuff. There have been times when I have reached out to certain embroiderers and they have been very, very helpful to me. There was one time when I got stuck on an order about pricing, and I wasn't sure. I reached out to Liliana. She was so sweet. She called me right back, and me and her had, a good discussion. And she was telling me about how she prices her items and all that kind of stuff. And then she helped me out. And I mean, and there have been a lot of times actually that she kind of like helped me when I was kind of stuck with something. But and there've been others, and I've even had people reach out to me, and I'm good with it. I videotape with people, I'll do video conferencing with people and help them with their machines and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that support is there, okay? Because the support is really, really important. Don't ever feel that you're in it alone. You're not. There are so many embroiderers out there, and this is just how I feel. There is enough work out there for everybody. Okay, so there's really no reason for people to be like, hiding or whatever. But if they do, it is what it is. Not everybody's the same, right? Everybody looks at things different, right? So, the other thing that is really, really important in running an embroidery business, which is now we're going on number 6, is the customer interaction that you have with folks. Whether you decide to have the business online where you go and you take all your orders, or if you decide to work with customers locally where you do face and face, that customer interaction is really going to be a defining moment in your business. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, um, the customers, are getting to know you as you're getting to know them. They're coming with you because they want you to help them, right? So how, you have to be very knowledgeable in what you're doing. You have to be able to listen, which that is really important. Listen to the customer, listen to their requirements, and try to get a really good understanding of what it is that they need. And then what you have to do is you have to then manage the expectations. Now, what I mean by managing the expectations is I'm talking about gathering the requirements from your customer and then making sure that they have a good understanding of what the outcome is going to be. For instance, sometimes people will come to you and they will say, "Hey, I have a logo and I want to have it digitized." One of the things that I always try to emphasize to customers is please remember that stitches is not the same as ink. Okay. Sometimes people have this idea that they have this beautiful picture, and that when you go and you get it digitized and it's going to be embroidered, it's going to look like the exact thing. That's not true. For this, because what you're doing is you are drawing with stitches, and it's gonna sometimes it may come, we try to make it as close as possible to the actual picture, but sometimes it's not. So you have to make sure that your customers understand what embroidery is, and make sure that they have an understanding of what the outcome of that product is going to look like. A lot of times when I find that it's a little bit they don't really understand too well, what I'll do is I'll say, okay, let me make a sample for you. Or I have some samples in the house that I will take and I will show them, and then I kind of show them, this is how this picture looked and this is how the stitch out looks. Okay. So you got to make sure that, the gathering of the requirements from them and that their expectations, that's met. Okay. That they understand exactly what it is. Because sometimes you have to remember, customers just want a product. Okay. They don't understand the process. So it's up to you to have that discussion with them and say, hey, this is how much, this is what it's going to look like. And also, sometimes because they don't understand the process, they probably won't understand your pricing either. So that's when you really have to start explaining. You have to hoop the item. You have to have the file digitized. You have to make sure that the threads, and then sometimes you have to have special needles, and then sometimes you have to have special thread with a particular weight. For instance, the golf bag that I did, I had the image, and I had it digitized. And what I did was I had it stitched out on 40 weight thread, and then I had it stitched out again on 60 weight. The 60 weight looked a lot cleaner, but the design was pretty dense, but it did look cleaner. So the thing is, once I showed the customer, because they kind of wanted 40, but then when I showed them what 60 looked like, they were kind of, oh, okay, I got it, I want the 60. Okay, so sometimes you have to make sure that when you have that communication with your customer, make sure you have a really good understanding of what the requirements are, what their expectations are, and then make sure that you let them know what is the outcome that they're going to walk out with at the door. Okay, so that's going to take time. A lot of times I find that that's easier done when you're dealing with customers locally than it is when you're dealing with customers online. Because when you're dealing with customers online, a lot of this information is being exchanged back and forward in email or texts or messages. You don't really have that face to face. One of the things that I do, and I don't have a problem doing this, is I'll tell them, can I call you, or can I have a video conference with you? That's fine to do. As a matter of fact, I find that customers actually love it when you do that, for the simple reason that they think to themselves, wow, this person really is going out of their way to make sure that I'm happy with my product. Okay. Because there was a video that I did a while back ago talking about customer service versus customer experience. So when you're doing that, you're building an experience for that customer. And then most likely when you have that positive experience with them, that's when you know you're going to have a customer that's going to always go to you. Because what's going to happen is they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to Jeanette because Jeanette takes her time. Jeanette listens. Jeanette knows her stuff. And I know she's going to take care of me. Because I'm going to be honest, a lot of people around here locally where I live, I've been kind of flattered because a couple of times on the Facebook group in my community, some people, somebody would come out and say, hey, I need to have some embroidery work done. Who can I go? Next thing you know, I've seen like 10 people put in the comments, you got to go to Jeanette. You got to go to Jeanette. Jeanette's the girl. She's the one. You got to go to her. And I'm like, damn, I feel the love. But the thing is, it's because they've had that good customer experience with me, because they know that, I'll have that conversation with them because I want to make sure that they're happy. So that's like number 6. And to me, I'm going to be honest, that is like one of the most important things that you really need to have when you are running any type of business, okay, whether it's embroidery or anything like that. Your customers is very, very important. The relationship you have with them is very important. Now, but with that being said, though, also, I am not in the belief that customers are always right. Okay. There are going to be times when you're going to have difficult customers come to you. That doesn't mean that you have to just say, okay, fine, and do whatever. Okay. Remember, this is your business. Okay. There have been times when I have turned orders away because I see that the customers can be kind of problematic, or they don't really know what they want, or they're not, listening. Because the way I look at it is communications go both ways. Okay. Just like I'm sitting there willing to listen to your requirements and what you need, you also have to be willing as a customer to listen to me as I explain to you what the process is and what I can deliver. And to have the argument back and forward, that's just not going to happen. especially with me, okay? Because I'm not the chick you're gonna argue with, okay? Also, when it comes to the pricing, okay, I to me, my prices are fair not just to the customer, but to me as well. I don't haggle price. I just don't do it. I find that if, when you haggle price, that is kind of like where your business goes under, all right? Because what happens is then they're going to say, "Oh, she just hackle her," and she'll give it to you for practically nothing. I don't hackle the price. I look at what the person wants. I know the type of work that it's going to take, and then what I will do is I will say, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. My job is not to make the customer poor. That's not what it is. But at the same time, it's not for me to make myself feel bad either. So I always make sure that my pricing is fair to both parties. And if I find that there's haggling, then that's not the customer that I want to deal with either, because it's just not something that I'm just not willing to do. Okay. But everybody runs their business different. Okay. Some people are okay with the haggling. And if you're one of those people, that's okay. Just do what you feel is right. Okay. um the other thing that I number 7, okay, is search other shops reviews and learn from their mistakes. Okay. One of the things that I do is I go on Etsy and I look at people's reviews, okay, that also do embroidery and all that kind of stuff. Now, I don't really focus on the 5 stars, okay? Because 5 stars means they just love it, they're doing great, whatever. What I'm looking for is those reviews where customers have put 3, 2, or 1 star. And the reason why I find those reviews important is because that was a customer that was upset about something, okay? Now, as I'm reading these reviews, I also do keep in mind I don't know both sides. Okay. The only thing you're reading when you're reading that review is that customer's perspective. That's it. So you don't know if that's a customer that was trying to get over, or on the buyer, or on the seller and stuff. So you don't know that. Okay. But the reason why I look at those reviews is because I want to see what is it that the person complained about. Okay. Sometimes people would say, "Oh, the quality of the shirt, that they washed it and then it crumbled up." That to me means, okay, they probably embroidered a shirt. They didn't use cutaway, they used tearaway. Okay, the tearaway dissolved and then that's when it crunched up. Okay. Sometimes they talk about the shipping, but I take those at a grain of salt because I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're complaining about the shipping, but the thing is, you got to remember the sellers. We don't control the post office. Okay, so did the seller take it to the post office late? We don't know that, so we don't know the whole story on that. But the thing is, I guess the point that I'm trying to say is when you're reading these reviews and you're looking at them, um you know try to see if anybody's complaining about quality, or and just to read it. I like to see what it is that the buying community is concerned about. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And then what it is you learn from that. And when you're learning from what their concerns are, then I'm like, okay, so for instance, like when the lady complained about the shirt that she said her son wore it once and then couldn't wear it again. So that's quality, right? That's quality. So I'm kind of like, okay, so that's something that in my mind I'm thinking, okay, so I got to make sure that if I embroider something, okay, that it has to be a very good quality and all that kind of stuff. And then you just read certain things and you get to pick up as to what people complain about, and you try to learn from the mistakes of other sellers. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Just make sure that you read, because that it will help you to try to avoid those issues if possible. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you can't satisfy everybody. Let's be honest. Okay. You really can't, you know. There's going to be some grouchy people out there because that's just how it is. Okay. Number 8, research pricing strategies. Okay. Competitive prices, and make sure you cover your costs plus your time. Okay. So you say you want to start an embroidery business, you already know the type of products that you want to put out there. Make sure that you are tracking all of your costs. Make sure that you are make sure you're being honest when you're tracking your costs too. Okay, like, don't come out and say, oh well, I think I spent this much on stabilizer. No, you know how much you spent on stabilizer. Okay, go look at the receipt. You know the amount that you spent on that stabilizer. If there's 100 in that pack, divide that number by 100, and that's how much per sheet you paid. Okay, don't be lazy in this. I'm telling you, I cannot stress that enough. I see it all the time. People go, they just buy all these supplies. They're not tracking the expenses. And then they don't know how to price the item. Well, you don't know how to price the item because you don't even know how much you spent on the supplies. And then, that makes it more difficult. Okay. Also, look at your competition out there. Okay. You believe me, you are not the only person out there that embroiders. A lot of people are doing it. Okay. A lot of people are embroidering different products and stuff like that. See what they're doing, see how they're pricing it. Don't just look at the price, also look at their volume as well. Are they selling at the price that they're asking? Okay. Do not lowball yourself just to make a sale. That's a no-no. Don't do it, because, and I'm going to tell you why. You get that high because you made that sale, right? You got your little Etsy shop, your phone goes off, right? It goes ching, and you're thinking, oh my God, I made a sale. That's like so cool, right? And you're happy, and you embroider it, you package it up, and then you ship it out, right? But you know what? You lost money because you did not price your item correctly. You didn't cover all your costs, and you didn't even pay yourself, okay? Then when you start to realize that excitement of feeling so proud, you're now going to feel like, damn, I feel used. You know what I mean? So it's like, don't do that to yourself. Okay. Just don't do that to yourself. All right. So research pricing strategies. Okay. And there's different types. A lot of people use different strategies to price things. Okay. Some people do it by the count of thread. Okay. How many stitches are in a design? Some people do that. I don't do that. I usually do it by the product. Okay. Because I'm okay with that. You have to make sure that you find the right pricing strategy that works for you. And you also want to make sure that you're not giving anything away. You got to make sure that you are calculating all your costs. That is important. Any little thing. Like I said, I have Friday. So Fridays is my administrative day. I hate that, but you got to do it. Okay. And I tell everybody, all my friends that own a business and stuff like that, I tell them, pick a day of the week and 1 hour. Okay. And that's the day that in that 1 hour, you go back to all the receipts that you spent this whole week, and you just put it all in QuickBooks and you put it on, you're done. By the end of the year, you're going to be grateful because you're going to know how much you spent on everything. And it's going to make taxes so much easier. So trust me on that. Make sure you write down all your expenses. Number 9, let's talk about some supplies now. Okay. So when it comes to supplies, make sure that you are always searching for new suppliers. Okay. Don't just buy from one place and say, this is it. This is where I'm going to buy my stuff and I'm good. You're going to get screwed that way. Trust me, I did. Okay. And I'm going to tell you how I got screwed with my bobbins. I was buying the magnetic bobbins for my multi-needle machines. I started to run low. And then guess what? I couldn't buy them anywhere. Amazon didn't have them. All Stitch didn't have them. And I was like, what the heck? Where am I going to buy these bobbins? So I had to go to my local sewing shop, and I bought her out. because for some reason there was a shortage. Okay. Then you guys came in, okay, and you guys told me about Hab, I think it's Hob plus Dash. So I found out their bobbins were cheaper than what I was paying on these other places. So I'm like, shoot, these suppliers are probably getting them from them, and they're selling to me at a higher price. And then I found out that all I had to do was send them a copy of my LLC, and I could have got those prices too. So now I get from them. But make sure you keep a list of suppliers, of places that you go and you buy stuff. Don't just go to one person, okay? Keep a list, all right? Because some places run out, and when they run out, then you're stuck, okay? And let me tell you, that was not a good thing, because I had orders coming in like crazy, and then I only had like 20 bobbins left. And I was like, oh God. So when I went over to the sewing shop and I talked to Susie, she was like, well, I only have one box of 100. I was like, I'll take all 100, So I even told her I'll pay double the price, because I didn't know how long it's going to be for me to be able to replenish my supplies on bobbins. Okay. So, oh, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that, Marlene. I appreciate that. Thank you. But anyway, but that's number 9, supplies. Make sure you have a list of all your supplies, suppliers, okay, and stuff. Number 10, I think I covered that when I was talking about Liliana and stuff. Network with other embroiderers, okay? Seriously, you can learn so much from other people. Some people share, some people don't, but it's okay. Whatever, okay? Network with them, okay? And you learn from each other and stuff. YouTube is a great place to learn from people. I found a lot of other people that do embroidery, that teach and stuff. I've done it, that's why I built this channel too, to help other people and stuff. So, but network, and then go to these shows and stuff. That's going to help your business as well, because what's going to happen is when you go to the shows, the craft shows, the expos and all that kind of stuff. I didn't go last year because the pandemic and stuff, but now that things are easing out, I'm hoping that I'll be able to go. So when you go to these places, you'll get to see new products that are coming out. Like I'm really excited about that cutting needle. I mean, I saw that cutting needle, it works, and I'm kind of like, God, I hope they have that for the brother machines and stuff, because I really do like my brother machines. And I'm sure in time it will, but it looked like that is something that's really going to work a lot for especially folks that like to do the appliques. Okay. So I think that's like really, really cool and stuff like that. So anyway, but those are the 10, guys. Those are the 10 that I have for today, and 52 minutes. So, so I got it. Oh, thank you so much. Thanks, Norma. Appreciate it. So I did it in time, because I know that a couple of Fridays I talk way too much. Okay. So I was like, okay, I'm going to stick to my hour. I am going to stick to my hour. So that way I can go through the chat. And then that's what I'll do now. Go through the chat and make sure that if you guys have questions, I can answer them. I wrote them all down. I covered all 10 and stuff. Oh, awesome. I am on time, and I don't even have a monitor yet. Okay. Because, my monitors quit on me. I don't know why, but I'm going to have to call Jade and say, what's up with that? So anyway, I'm going to go down the chat room and stuff. Miss Allison, I saw Sassy and Iris. Let's see. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Robin. How you doing? Hey, Denise. Cracky Puerto Rican. How you doing, girl? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Minnesota Custom Made. Barb. Let's see. Miss Banks. Thank you so much, Miss Banks. I'm telling you. This is because of you, girl. I'm telling you. I love doing this. Love it. Love it. I'm going to do this, and I'm also going to do the ring. So, Miss Banks, the woman, boy, let me tell you. That lady got a lot of ideas. Hey, Linda. Hey, Joni. Hey, Miss Max. How you doing? Hey, Eartha. Hey, Norma. Hey, Robin. Hey, Dressed by Maya. How you doing? Hey, Girly. Karen, Iris from Puerto Rico. Oh, another Boricua and stuff. And you know what? I'm gonna head to Puerto Rico real soon. I gotta visit my family. I haven't seen them in a while and stuff. Hey, hey, Gal Creations, how you doing? Hey, Dressed by Maya. Oh, de Ponce. Oh my God, my dad is from Yalco, and I believe my mom is from Ponce. So, but I'm a New Yorker, okay? Well, New Yorican, let's say that, okay? Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Sassy. Let's see. If you guys have questions, ask away, and I'll answer them the best I can. Hey, Debbie. Let's see. Hey, Angela. Hey, Susan. Connecticut's in the house. Let's see. Okay. Big question. Okay. Embroidery patch. I did it. How much should I charge? 17,300 stitches and 7 colors between 9 change of color. Please help. Okay. Well, if you go by, sometimes people go the rule of thumb of $1, 1,000 stitches, right? So if you did that, then right there, that would be $17, right? Then you have 7 color changes. Well, that to me would depend on the machine that you're using. If you're using a multi-needle machine, right? To me, the color changes isn't a big deal because all you have to do is just hook up all of the the thread on the machine and you're good to go, right? So you're really not changing colors because the machine does everything for you, right? But if you have a single needle machine, that means you're sitting there and you're actually got to change the thread every time there's different color change. That's something else that takes time, right? So in that instance, what I usually did when I was running it with my single needle is I would do $1 a color change, right? So that would be like $7 right there. Also, though, we're not talking about the material, okay? First of all, you use stabilizer, and I don't know if you're using twill fabric to do that as well. And then after you stabilize it, you got to cut it out. And then I know Liliana, what she does is she uses a hot knife, and the hot knife is like to seal the edge and stuff. So 17 with 7, that's like 24. I would probably between $25, $30 a patch. That's what I would do. But if you have a multi-needle machine, it's probably be faster. So maybe, and it also depends also on how many are they asking for also. Think about that, because if they're asking for a lot, then it's like, okay, well, well, this is the thing. If they're asking for a lot and you have a multi-needle machine, it's a lot easier to do. But if they're asking for a lot and you got a single needle machine, you're going to be in front of that machine for a long, long time. So I don't know if you're going to want to take a big order for patches on a single needle machine. But each is different. But that's just my thing. I would probably do like maybe $25, $30 for the patch. That's what I would probably do. Let me know what you guys think about that. I mean, if you would go lower or higher, I don't know, and stuff. Jeanette, it's really good knowing how items should be priced. I'm really good at it. What's funny, Angela? Sometimes I feel like I kind of like get stuff away sometimes. Like I did the golf bag for the guy in the community. Now I know I could have like charged like $65, $70 for that. I only charged 30. But I'm gonna tell you, I was super proud of that. I was like, oh my God, and I told his wife, I said, oh, when I see him in the golf course, I'm gonna be like, I know where you got that bag from. That you got that. I know the lady that's in your bag. But it came out gorgeous, and I could see and because I live in a golfing community, so I already could see it. Just like the same thing, like when I did the golf towels. It's like I did one, and they were out in the field, and next thing you know, I got a call from like 20 people, and they were like, "Oh, I want a golf towel." So I'm kind of like, okay. So the orders just come in. So but yeah, I mean, you the thing is, Ramona, I think I'm saying your name right. I'm bad. I speak English and Spanish, so I mess up a lot of words, okay, and stuff. So it's like I talk genetish. So you make sure that whatever you price at, that you're comfortable with it. That's really what's important. You never want to like feel like you got taken advantage of. Like for me, the golf towel, I mean the golf bag, people would be like, Jeanette, that was cheap. But you know what? To me, it was a reasonable price because I wasn't sure, right? But now that I know I'm confident, because when I saw how that came out, I was like, whoa, that I was like, ooh, I rocked that. So I was like, okay. But then believe me, the next one I do, it's not gonna be 30. I'm gonna be like, the price is up there. Okay. So, do what's comfortable. You have to do what's comfortable. Okay. Um, yep. See, everybody's charming in and stuff. Yep. You have to make sure that you cover the material, just like Dressed by Maya is saying. It's very, very important that you cover the materials and stuff because you don't want to end up doing anything for free. Hey, Pretty Eyes, how you doing? Hey, Miss Holland. Hey, Trisha, Crafty Patty. Hey, Donna. Hey, Nina. I agree. Embroidery is expensive venture. It is expensive. And you know who I learned that from? Baby Booty Eve. I mean, my girl Eve was right on it, okay? Because when I first started, she did a video on it. And one of the things she said was embroidery was expensive. And I was like, nah, it can't be that expensive. Then next thing you know, I got my machine. Then I had to get thread. Then I had to get stabilizer. Then there were different types of stabilizer. There were different types of threads. There were different types of needles. And I was kind of like, ooh, she wasn't joking. So she was on the money on that one. So it can get very, very, very expensive. And yeah, and like Cheryl said, you got to have the passion for it. And so, and this is the other thing too. When you are starting a new business, whenever you make money, you're going to be investing that money right back into your business. You really are, especially the first couple of years. So a lot of times, sometimes people get discouraged because they're like, I'm not seeing any profits. Well, you're not going to really see profits the first 2 or 3 years. Because my friend who's a tax attorney, he does our stuff. And me and him were having a discussion last time he was hanging out with us. And he was saying a lot of businesses, they just give up because of that. They don't really have that true understanding that the first couple of years that you do that, you and the IRS kind of knows this, okay? They kind of give you like a 5-year span. They know that new businesses, when they first start off, first couple of years, it's mostly on machinery, it's mostly on materials and supplies, building their relationships with the community and stuff like that before they can actually start seeing profits. Once they start, so a lot of times they just get discouraged and stuff like that. So when we're doing our taxes and everything, I have a lot of business expenses, right? Because sometimes I'll do the traveling and the machinery and all the supplies and all that kind of stuff. So they kind of know, they know that. So a lot of people get discouraged and stuff, and you can't be because it'll happen. Because if you really think about it, once you bought your machinery, you're not going to have that cost anymore. That machine's going to last you for a couple of years before you have to buy a new machine. Okay, so you're not going to, that expense actually, it starts to depreciate within time, so you're not going to have that anymore. So it's just, it works out in the end. You just can't give up. You can't give up and stuff. Let me see what else. It's also easy to go big and then get overwhelmed trying to learn everything at once. Yes, just one very good point. I'm glad you pointed that out. It is very, very true. And that is why some people actually get discouraged. Baby steps. You always have to do baby steps. And even at my job, I even do that when we're talking about accomplishing certain goals for an organization. It's very important that, a lot of times people like to look at things, and I always say we can't have the whole ocean at once. Okay, let's just take it one cup of water at a time, and let's celebrate those cups of water. Okay, those small successes. So what you have to do is you have to come out and you have to take things in chunk, learn slow. Don't think that you have to be perfect in everything. Okay, which is why sometimes I say you got to really focus on your niche. My thing is the kitchen towels and dinner napkins, because I love doing that stuff. Okay, love dressing up the table for dinners and stuff like that, because me and my husband love to entertain. So we have a lot of guests that come, and when we sit down at the dinner table. And now what I started doing is when we have other guests that come and arrive, I use a dinner napkin. I used to etch wine glasses, and I used to use those wine glasses as placement place, to tell people where to sit at the dinner table. Now what I do is I'll take a dinner napkin, I'll embroider their initial on it really cute, and I'll put the date of the that we're having dinner, and that's their dinner napkin. So it's like a little gift and stuff. So I'm really into the home decor. That I love doing that. So you got to find your niche, and then once you perfect it, then you can go on to other stuff. But a lot of times people get very overwhelmed because they don't know what it is they should be focusing on. And then sometimes they'll try to do something, it's not working out, they'll give up, and then they'll go and they'll start learning something else, and that doesn't work, they'll give out, and then next thing you know, they're like, oh, screw it, I don't want to do it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just taking it little bits at a time. Sometimes you can't do everything at once, so just take your time. And also know that this is something that builds with time. Okay, you're not going to wake up and everything's going to, well, the knowledge is going to be there and you're going to be perfect, and you're going to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I don't care how long you've been doing embroidery. My friend Liliana, that has also the channel, she has been in the embroidery business for over 25 years. Okay, she has done embroidery for NBC, big time clients, and she makes mistakes. To this day, she still makes mistakes. To this day, I make mistakes. So if you bump into anybody in any type of business, I don't even care if it's embroidery or whatever, okay, and they tell you they ain't made a mistake, I'm telling you they're full of it. Okay, they made a mistake. We all make, because we're human. Okay, that's just part of being human, part of being a person, part of being part of the learning process. So don't ever, get discouraged or anything. Take your time and mostly enjoy it. Enjoy. It's a craft. Okay, it's a craft. You don't even have to do this as a business if you don't want to either. Okay, when I first started, it was really just me trying to make things to decorate my house, and then I started making them as gifts, and then when I made them as gifts, then it just happened to turn into a business, because what ended up happening was the gifts were being shown and people were like, oh, who is this lady? And next thing you know, I was like, okay. And then I said, all right, let me start an Etsy shop and see what I can do with that, and that ended up working pretty good too. So just it comes in time. It's not going to happen overnight. That is for sure. If you think it's going to happen overnight, then that's not going to work for you. And the other thing too is you got to be passionate about it, and you can't quit. You really can't quit. And if you quit, it could be that maybe your heart's not in it. I mean, I don't know, but that's just me. And so let's see. See, Cheryl. Let's see. You definitely need to be passionate about. Yes, you do. You have to be passionate. You gotta love it. You really do. My machine was acting up. Started to clean it, and when I removed the bobbin plate, I found a piece of a broken needle. Yeah, that happens. That happens. And you know what's so funny too? Talking about your machine acting up, Iris. When I first started, um, which is kind of funny. This is really funny. I was sewing like crazy. Okay. I had my SC 1900, and I was just sewing, sewing, sewing. The time I was just making these little bowl cozies. Okay. I was making bowl cozies, little wallets. And then I started embroidering the initials on the little wallets and stuff. But I was just so. Then next thing you know, the machine was acting up. I had no idea you were supposed to clean the machine. So here I am using that machine for like 4 months. And when I finally opened it, it looked like cotton was all in there. And I was like, damn. So I didn't know. So, you know, it's a learning process. It really is. It's a learning process. Nobody knows everything in the very beginning. And as you go along, you end up learning more and more, which is why I say go out and get that support and stuff, because that way if you have that support, you can have people that can help you and stuff like that. Okay. Um, let's see. Hey, Miss Holland. Um, hey, Harmony, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing okay. Miss you. My son loves your shirt, by the way, and stuff. He be rocking that at VCU. And stuff. I don't know if you guys know Miss Harmony. She has a Etsy shop, and I bought this sweatshirt for my son. It's gorgeous. It's for Black Lives Matter, and he's been rocking that, and he loves it. He fell in love with it as soon as I gave it to him. He was like, "What the heck you get that?" I was like, "Harmony." He be rocking your shirt. Let's see. Found this community so awesome. Oh, thanks, Mia. I'm glad. Almost everyone willing to help and share, and they probably even should. It's awesome. Nice to give back to. It is. And that's one of the things that I really love. And that's what I like too about our Facebook group too, is that everybody's always been watching out for each other and stuff like that. And I think that's like really awesome. I really do. And stuff. Oh, she's doing June 15th event. Oh, that's awesome, Harmony. I think that's so cool. Don't forget hit that. Yep, don't forget to hit that like button, please. Thank you, Harmony. Appreciate it. Um, let's see. Let's see. Hey Angela, how are you? Eve, how you doing? And Eve, I don't know if you guys know, she is my favorite because that's one of my mentors right there. I love her. Her and Liliana, they're my favorites and stuff. Love her. Her channel's awesome. I love it and stuff. Hey DJ, how are you? Hey Jill. Oh, I think I skipped that stuff. Got a lot of people on here. I think I'm all caught up. Look like you guys have a lot of questions. Is it necessary to have a No, it's not, Denise. It's really not necessary to have a DBA or LLC. You really don't. It does help though, to have one, but you really don't. Especially if you want to do an Etsy shop, you can open up an Etsy shop and not have an LLC. You don't really need that. Okay. Um. Hey, Lori, how are you doing? That's like so cool. The only one I'm missing is Liliana. I guess she's busy and stuff because she's had so many orders and stuff. Is it possible for you to give private classes on embroidery? I need help. Mercedes, I don't give class. Just reach out to me if you need help. I mean, I've helped lots of people and stuff. So just send me a text and stuff, and I'll do a video and stuff with you just to help you out and see where you're stuck. Okay. So no worries on that. Okay. And stuff. I've helped lots of people before. I don't charge or anything like that. So just give me, just reach out to me through Facebook and, I'll let you know when I have time and stuff, and we'll get you straight, okay? And stuff, so that way you can have some fun with your embroidery machine and stuff. Um, Hi, Jeanette. Is there a video for golf towel on your channel? I believe there is. If there isn't, then I'll definitely have to make one and stuff because I make so many of them and stuff. So that would be really easy to do to make one to show you guys. The golf towels are really easy. It's really the same thing as when I do my kitchen towels. I use the same process. Um, and golf towels, if golfers is a big thing. It's a big thing for the golfers and stuff. Because where I live, we have a golf course, and it's it's like everybody here golfs. I don't really like it. I think it's kind of boring. It's like I just see people like hit the ball and stuff. And the couple of times that I've gone, I don't think they like to play with me because I kind of cheat. Because it's not really easy hitting the ball with the uh that golf club. Okay, it's really not easy. So I don't know if you guys have tried it, but I've tried it and I can never hit the ball. So when no one looks, I pick up the ball and I throw it, and they kind of know I cheat. So I don't think they want to play with me anymore. Let's just put it this way: when it comes to picking people for the team, nobody picks me anymore. So I'm like, okay, so I'll just stay home with my embroidery machine. That's what I like to do anyway. And then they don't like people to talk in the golf course and stuff. I gotten that too. They say, "Oh, you talk too much," and I'm like, "What the heck we doing here?" It's like because everybody just wants to focus. It's supposed to be quiet. It's not for me. It's just not. You know. Um. Let's see. First time able to catch your live. Hey Trisha, how are you? How you doing? Hey Karen, how's it going? Yes, yes, Lori. I throw the golf ball. I just wait for everybody to look the other way, and then I just pick it up and throw it. And then they're like, you didn't hit that. I'm like, I tried. Yeah, I'm a cheater when it comes to golf and stuff. Um, Yep, Angela, my sewing room is my sanity. I could be in here all day, honestly. And it's kind of funny because if you talk to my husband, he'll tell you, if I'm not here, I'm driving around the Tesla. That's what I'm doing because I that's the only that's my two special places and stuff. And usually, what I like to do, especially when I'm driving around, is I like if I'm at a red light and there's like a Corvette or something that's next to me. They always try to see if they could beat the Tesla. You really can't because Teslas are pretty quick because it's all electric, so it's all power. You're not changing any gears or anything like that. Man, I like to smoke them. That's kind of fun. So that's my other little uh high that I get. And my husband gets back because he's like, one day you're gonna get caught, and I'm like, yeah, I know. I gotta stop. So, oh, you made a Tupac hoodie? Oh, Harmony, I'm gonna have to get with you because I know Carlito's gonna want that hoodie. So I'm gonna have to reach out with you because he likes to rock that stuff. Um, at what point did you get a business license? I actually got the business license when I opened up the Etsy shop. And I just went on legalzoom.com and I just went and got an LLC. That's all I did. Um And I will say this, one of the benefits of getting the LLC that I've had so far is that when I went to Hab plus Dash, right? And I wanted to have an account with them. Because I think you have to have a business account. So they were like, "Do you have an LLC or something like that?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "Well, if you send us a copy of the certificate, then we can create the account for you." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I just went and I emailed them a copy of the LLC, and they were able to create the account for me, and I was able to get my bobbins a lot cheaper. So, that is a benefit right there. And the other thing too is you can purchase wholesale. I have not gotten the I think you have to file something with the state to get the wholesale because I just pay the full price of stuff. I mean, because my thing is kitchen towels, what I when I pay for the kitchen towels, I mean, you guys saw I get those off right off of Amazon. Even though I got an I don't know about you guys, but I kind of noticed they've been creeping up on those prices. Okay, everything's like going up. So so, but the thing is, it's pretty inexpensive. The kitchen towels. So I don't mind. It doesn't really bother me much, I guess. It doesn't really bother me much because I'm like, it's okay. I mean, what are we talking about? Like what? I probably they're gonna sell me the kitchen towel, what, like 20 cents less? I'm like, I'm okay with that. But yeah, that I got it when I actually opened the Etsy shop. But the thing is, you really don't need to have an LLC to have an Etsy shop. They'll need to collect they're gonna want your social security number and all that kind of stuff because you do get a 1099 from Etsy. And then I don't know if you guys know, this year, if you sell more than $600, before it used to be 10,000, right? If you sold like 10,000 or something like that, there was a threshold and it was pretty high. And then they would go ahead and they would cut you at 1099. Now, if you sell at least $600 worth of items on Etsy or any other platform, they're required to send you a 1099 for that because I guess the government, they want their money. They want to make sure that everybody's, paying their taxes and stuff like that. So, but they'll send you the 1099 with your social. You don't need an LLC and stuff when you do that. Um, let's see. Um, Everybody's talking about me picking up the ball and throwing it. Yeah, that's me. That's why when my girlfriends, when everybody's go golfing and stuff, nobody picks me. They really don't. They're like, all right, who's gonna take Jeanette? The cheater. What kind of heat press do you recommend? Hey Patricia. Okay, when it came to my heat press, one of the things that I did was at first I went on Amazon and I started looking at all of the heat presses that were out there. The problem that I ran into when I was looking on Amazon for heat presses is the reviews that I saw went every which way. You found some heat presses that they had high reviews, but then at the same time they were, they had so many sales that they also had a lot of low reviews too. So what I just did was I went online and I looked at Heat Press Nation and I also looked at Pro World. And I liked the Pro World because this was the thing. When I was looking at a heat press, I wanted one that pulled out. Because one of the things that I saw was some of the heat presses just open. And I'm kind of clumsy. So I could just visualize myself burning my hands, putting stuff inside the heat press and then taking it out and then probably lifting my hands too high and then my hands burning and stuff like that. So I was kind of like, I kind of didn't want one that just opened and closed. I wanted one that had the bottom that I can actually pull out, put the item on, and then push it back in and then close it. So Pro World had one like that. And it ran me, if I remember correctly, I think I paid like $329, something like that. I don't think it was more than $400. But I bought it from them, and it was also at a time where I needed that heat press because before the heat press, I was using the Cricut press, where and the thing is with the heat press is the heat press not only gives you the right amount of heat across, but when you clamp it down, it actually puts pressure on the garment, so it makes sure that the vinyl is stuck on really good to the shirt. When you're doing it with the Cricut heat press, it works, but the thing is, you are the ones that's actually putting your weight on the iron to put that pressure down on the shirt. Now, if you're only doing one shirt, it's probably not a big deal, but at that time, I was making like 50 I was making a lot of shirts. So, because what happened was there were a lot of like car clubs and stuff like that, and I'm part of a Tesla car group, and they all wanted like shirts and stuff, and I was kind of like, with the club name, and I mean, there's a lot of us, right? So I was just like, oh shoot. So when they bought all the shirts, and I was doing it with the Cricut, my arms felt like they were going to fall off, and you could tell when I was getting tired, because when I looked at the vinyl, I could tell that the vinyl was not really pressed really good to the shirt, and it wasn't gonna like last a long time and stuff like that. So that's when my husband was like, no, it's time for you to like stop being cheap and buy the heat press. So then I said fine, and then I went, I got the heat press, and that made things so much easier, because it was just putting the shirt, clamp it down, then take it out, put the next shirt, clamp it down, take it out. I mean, it was just so much easier. So yeah, I mean, if you can get your hand on a good heat press, I would. I use Pro World, and I like Pro World too because they have reward points. So I was able to get my heat press for my shirts with Pro World, and then with the points that I got, I was able to get my sublimation printer for half price, and I also got a mug press. And what I liked about their mug press is they have attachments, and I was able to get the attachments for different types of coffee mugs. And also, you want to say hi, Mello? Mello wants to say hi. You want to say hi? Okay. So I was able to get all the attachments for the different type of coffee mugs and stuff, and all that. So I kind of like Pro World. I kind of like it. And then they do videos also on their products. And that's one of the things that I like about them also, because they do videos on how to use the products. Oh, he wants to, okay. So I kind of like that too. So, and their customer service was really good too. So, yeah, but I had mine now for, I think, 3 years, something like that. And it still works great. I mean, I like it and stuff like that. So, let me see. I hope I'm not skipping anybody. And so, hey, Patricia. Hey, Motherland Moms Crafting. How you doing? Let's see. Any question? I think I got everybody's. Oh, Amazon's heat presses are not meant to last. So if you can afford it, we do your job, get something better. Yeah, and Maya, that's the thing, because right, Mello? Oh, you've been eating your bone. Okay. And this is the other thing too, because I saw all those mixed reviews on the Amazon website. My whole thing too is when I'm buying equipment for my business, I kind of want to make sure that it's good quality equipment. Okay. And the thing is, it's like my husband, he kind of said, sometimes quality matters when it comes to certain equipment, so it's like if you buy a $10 heat press, then expect a $10 press, so and he made a good point, right? So but I didn't want to like go overboard. I'm not interested in spending thousands of dollars on a heat press. Not like that. At least not at the point where I was. Would I do it now? I don't know. I mean, I really don't need to, because the heat press still works. So if it ever goes belly up, I don't know. I'll probably get maybe another Pro World, or maybe I'll get something a little more industrial. I'm not sure, but right now it works great. I don't have any problems with it. My sister also has a Pro World, because she had a t-shirt business for a long, long time, her and her husband, and that was the brand they were using. And I didn't even know that until after I bought mine. And because then she said, well, which one did you get? And I said Pro World. She goes, oh, that's what me and Harvey use, and they use they had a t-shirt business for a long, long time. So they kind of love it and stuff. So and it worked really good for them. So it worked pretty good for me too. So I'm using the wrong mouse. Okay. Yeah, so okay. Well, I guess I got everybody. Where's Mello? Angela Mello was right here. And so I think he was hanging out with Daddy outside. So I am going to go, guys, because Fred is cooking chicken wings today with French fries. And I want my chicken wings. So we got an air fryer. So, and I like my chicken wings so crispy and stuff like that. So I just hope he puts some sazon on there, because sometimes he puts, he doesn't put the sazon and stuff like that. And, I'm like, I'm Puerto Rican, we like our spices, I like my adobo, my sazon, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how he did it, and stuff. But I'm sure he cooked it right because he knows how I am. So anyway, guys, I hope you liked the tips and stuff that I gave you guys about it. I mean, that's just my experience, my opinion. I'm sure there are so many other things out there too that you have to consider when you're running not just an embroidery business, but any type of business and stuff like that. And but it's just I just was thinking this week, and those were like the 10 that popped in my head that I wanted to share with everybody. So I hope that this helps. So if you guys, because I know that one person said that they asked about the private lessons, please reach out to me. I have no problems helping people. I like doing it. I mean, I don't mind. It really doesn't bother me because I know some people are like, oh my God, because you're like really busy. No, just reach out and I will find time. I will find time for you, okay? Because I mean, that I like doing that. I like helping people. So it's not a big deal, okay? So and if you guys need help with anything, please put it on the Facebook group. Everybody always chimes in, always helps each other, and that's one of the things that I really really like about the group is that everyone is so super supportive, and I want to make sure that keeps on. And, I really appreciate all you guys supporting me as well. I really do love doing the videos. I have a lot of fun doing it. I ain't got the camera thing down packed yet. So I know that I probably have you guys dizzy when I'm going, okay, let's go from the cutting table to the machine. Let's do this and that. But you know what? I like my stuff raw. That's just how I am. You guys already have seen me I've had this channel now going on maybe a year and a half, something like that. And you guys that have followed me for quite some time, you guys know I don't cover anything up. If I do boo-boos like this, then I just did a boo-boo and we just learned together and stuff. I'm still not going to give up on this shirt because I have a feeling we can use scraps for this. I really, really do. I just think that I just needed to make the W a lot bigger and just pick a better applique. So anyway, I will do another video because like I said, I'm not giving up. And I got plenty of fabric scraps and I need to figure out what I'm going to do with all these fabric scraps and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, I am going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for spending Friday night with me. As always, love you all. And you guys have a good weekend. And I will see you guys next week on Friday. And I will keep posting more videos on ways to use our scraps and all that other good stuff. Okay. And like I said, if you guys need anything, please reach out and stuff like that. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Love you guys all. Have a good one. Bye.